today we're going to kind of go back to some of the basic stuff with algebra that we need to do. And we're going to graph lines today, both by hand and using the computer eventually. We got time. We got my off a little bit. So, I want you to graph 3x plus 2y equals 6. First, before you try, how are we going to do that? There's a couple different ways. There's one way, and there's really only one thing I'm ever going to want you to remember about when someone asks you to graph something, and we'll get that today. But anybody got a way they can graph 3x plus 2y equals 6? How many points do you need to graph a line?
3.
3? I can do it in 2. 3's okay. But 2 gets you a nice, you can connect the dots and make a nice straight line, right? So, how am I going to get 2 points? That's purely up to you. Some of you in the past, I think over there, have got this into a y equals form, right? Y equals mx plus b usually. So I've tried to get it maybe into y equals mx plus b. What's what in the y equals mx plus b? What's that right there?
6 plus 6.
In this case,
Oh wait, is that the
it might be worse, but in general this is the
y-intercept.
the y-intercept, right? That's where it's going to cross the y-axis. This part right here is the slope. Okay. So, if I take this whole thing up here and get it into y equals, so I got to move the 3x over, and then divide by 2.
With freshmen, last names M through D, please report to the gym for pictures. Freshmen, last names M through D, please report to the gym for pictures.
So, to get this, I would go to the y-intercept, which is at 3. So y-axis at 3. So mine up here is 3. Alright. And now the slope. Slope is rise over run. I will always do the rise first, and I will always put the negative with the rise. So that means I will always do the run in the same direction. But since it's a negative 3, that means I'm going to go down 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to run. I'm always going to go to the right if I go do the rise first and take the negative with it. And I'm going to go right 2. And that gets me my second dot. And I'm done. Okay. That's method number 1. That's fine. Most of you are going to lean on that at times. It's quick. Sometimes. This little slopey thing can mess things up. The second method I'm going to show you works 100% of the time. Not only on lines, but on parabolas and so on and so forth. And it is whenever I ask you to graph something, it's what I want you to do. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to show you the video. This is going to be what is called the XY chart. It's really simple. I'm going to pick a value for X and a value for Y, one at a time, and plug it in. The reason it's nice is because there are 2 numbers you always want to check. So if I pick X to be 0, and I plug it into there, that leaves me with 2y equals 6. So y is 3. Hey, we got that already anyway. That's the y-intercept, but I didn't have to do any moving. The other one I'm going to check is I'm going to plug in y to be 0. And that leaves me with 3x equals 6. So x equals 2. And there's my 2 points. All I'm ever looking for is 2 points. Okay. Now, you don't always have to use these. You can use whatever numbers you want. These numbers do not always guarantee that they're integers. There might be some fractions involved. Okay? But you can pick whatever you want. I could pick x to be 1 if I wanted to be. If x was 1, that 1 plus 2y equals, or excuse me, 3 times 1. And so I move it over and I get 2y equals 3, so y would be 3 over 2. When we get to parabolas, that's what you're going to have to do anyway. Okay? So this is the preferred method that will work 100% of the time. I like you to lean on this. This is what I want you to do. I'm not going to say you have to use one method. No. When it comes to lines, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Okay? So let me get this stuff in the blue notes for us. I got to stop that video. And we want to get to your book on page 22.